Wizards of the Coast just announced a secret lair, while at the same time saying they're going to ban one of the cards from that secret lair. We're living in Bizarro World. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. We are here today to talk about what is going on with the secret lair banning scenario. I thought when it came to the secret lairs that were coming that I would be focusing first and foremost on doing a video on each individual super drop and talking about all the cards. I have to admit, I really enjoy when they put out a bunch of secret lairs because the artwork on some of these, it's just beautiful, right? But ultimately, we're not here right now to talk about what's amazing with secret lair. Right now, we're here to talk about what's crazy with secret lairs. So there's a super drop coming, one of the secret lairs specifically that is themed around Titans, and I will totally do a video covering the secret lairs as well. So we'll go all in depth with the cards and look at that goodness. But right now, we're just talking about this very odd scenario because something like this hasn't really happened before, specifically with secret lairs. So what's going on basically is Wizards of the Coast has announced all of the secret lairs that are forthcoming. There are, if I'm not mistaken, 5 different secret lairs. The Titan secret lair is having one of the cards banned in it, and that would be Euro, the Titan from Theros. So what happened was, if you go to the website where they, like if you go to Wizards' main site where they have the secret lairs listed, you will see that under each of them, it has a description of what's going on with their like marketing, you know, with the lands ones. What's more hardcore than lands? You know, like that, that kind of marketing. But then the one Titan secret lair has this additional notation that says, note, we're planning on an upcoming BNR announcement that's banned and restricted announcement. In that announcement, we plan to ban Euro Titan of Nature's Wrath in Pioneer, Modern, and Historic. Additionally, we're continuing discussions about doing the same in Legacy. While we're still working internally on the larger BNR announcement for that week, we wanted to share this information ahead of this sale. So, Euro's already banned in Standard, right? And now they're looking at banning it in Pioneer, Modern, and Historic on top of, I mean, Historic doesn't matter. Let's be clear. Historic is irrelevant in these terms because we're talking about physical printings, and them making it banned in Historic doesn't affect physical cards. That's irrelevant. But regardless, they're banning it in Pioneer, Modern, and looking at banning it in Legacy because, I mean, the card is an absolute house, right? It's super overpowered. It's a sign of the times where the way that Wizards design stuff leads to some very attractive cards and wow, look what I can do. But they also create cards that are incredibly potent. Now, as I said, I'm going to do a video covering the Titans, so I'm not really going to put the card up here and talk about it because it's got new artwork and I want to save that for a video where I can enjoy the card instead of talking about the absurd scenario that Wizards finds itself in where they're literally going, okay, we're going to be banning this stuff. Now, I will say, for a company that has slipped up with what they said about the dice and the fiasco with the double masters packs, the VIP one specifically, where they literally said that you could get certain things that you just couldn't get, right? In this case, they're actually ahead of the scenario, right? They're not holding back and waiting until right after the product is sold to go, boom, it's banned. I mean, ultimately, you have a scenario where no matter what, because of how long it takes for this stuff to be released, it's guaranteed to be banned by the time the cards are actually released. But there would be some serious anger with people if they bought the secret lair and then a week or two later, I don't know exactly when the ban and restricted announcement is going to be coming, but I suspect the fact that they have mentioned it now means that we can expect it within the next couple of weeks at most, right? So you got a scenario where you order these secret lairs and then right after the cutoff of the secret lairs, then they ban them in virtually every format. Like, what's left? If you already have Standard gone, Pioneer, Modern gone, and then they hit Legacy as well, I mean, what's left? Just absolute pure vintage original? Like, there's so little you can do with it, right? And I'm wondering another thing about this because there are 2 Titan secret lairs, okay? And the Euro one is now priced lower than the other secret lair that is the Titan one. They're both essentially an equal secret lair. And you would think that Wizards originally would have intended to price them at the same point, but then realizing that they're putting this card that is banned in there, they're reducing the price somewhat. That's what it appears to be. I mean, we don't know ultimately the marketing decisions that are made at the company, but it does appear that this situation has financially impacted them in a way, because, I mean, if you scale the discount, the unintentional banning discount, which is what I consider the difference, if you scale that across a lot of sales, you know what I mean? Like, if you sell 10,000 units and you're dropping the price by $5 across the unit, that's $50,000 that you've left off the table, right? Or on the table, I should say. You're not getting that money. And I literally have no concept of how many secret layers that they will sell overall, because they don't release specific statistics on that. But I do wonder exactly like how internally they weigh these sort of scenarios. Like, are they going to now shy away more from picking cards that are more recent and from this tiny little window of time that we're existing in time? Basically, fire time is what I was trying to say there. We're living in the times of fire, where the design shift is very noticeable, right? Like, there are times where they change design philosophy at Wizards of the Coast, and you don't realize it until you read an article explaining what's going on. And then there's shifts that almost give you whiplash. And Throne of Eldraine onwards has felt like whiplash. If you actually were to see on the screen like a graph of all of these different levels of bans, like, and the amount of bans we've had in this short time frame versus the bans across whatever, we could actually do a video covering that. I know I'm going kind of off to the side with this, but either way, you've got a situation where we're living in times of more frequent bannings, right? Because they're pushing the power level. That's the idea behind fire. And then you end up with a scenario where cards are so powerful that, like, this is a card from Theros we're talking about. It's not this, we're not talking about some ancient card that reared its head 15 years later because the time became right for it. We're talking about cards that are so powerful that even though they're brand new, they can muscle their way in everywhere, because what you get from them is so overwhelming. And so ultimately, the question that I'm wondering is Wizards of the Coast going to have some kind of internal, like, sales sort of, okay, well, we have to decrease the price of a secret layer when a ban happens by this much. However, we believe it increases our box sales by this percentage when we make sure we use this fire design and have really overpowered cards that may or may not break formats, right? Because currently, Wizards' current philosophy is, like, step on the gas, make really powerful stuff, and if we have to ban stuff, we have to ban stuff, because the amount of bannings that are going on is very frequent. So this is a very unique situation, right? Where they're literally just announcing the product at the exact same time as saying, we're going to be banning this one card across formats. And it's not something like weird and corner case like that Lootry situation with Ikoria, where they just happened to make a companion that dovetailed perfectly for any commander deck, where it's just like, oh, are you playing these colors? Well, here you go. You just get a bonus card, right? I don't consider that the same scenario, because Lootry isn't like an inherently broken card. It's just, you can't play it in Commander and have it be fair that it exists in the format, versus cards that are so incredibly powerful that they're just like, it's like Oko is another fantastic example, man. Blue-green has really been getting the juice. They've really leaned into blue-green being like a solid combination. So, like, Oko came along, right? And he was just absolutely bonkers. So we've just got this kind of scenario where we're just going to see this again and again. And Wizards of the Coast is going to be tempted to put these big, exciting cards into the box sets. But then now you've got the trade-off of, is it actually going to decrease the sales? Like, do you have to decrease the price of your product by 10%? That's significant. I wish that I had the ability to, like, look into a crystal ball, scry into Wizards of the Coast's office, and see, like, how they, or I guess maybe it would just be easier if I could just read their emails. Who am I kidding? You know, all that stuff is probably transferred around in reports and stuff. I'm sitting here wishing for magical powers, and that's what I would do with them. All right, clearly I am not using my brain. So anyways, I've probably gone over long about this, but that's what I do. The short version is Wizards of the Coast is putting out a secret layer. They're banning a card from the secret layer. Never seen anything like it before, and I wonder how it will impact decision-making going forward. So, that's all I have to say, my friends. Patrons scrolling on by on the screen, thank you very much for that. And I'll leave a link to my newest lore video. Thanks for coming by, my friends. I'll see you next time.